And then
Whenever you have whenever a team has a bad day and loses, the coaches try to find something. When you have a good day, you try to find something bad. When you have a bad day, you try to find something good. There seem to be some good signs out there today.
Well, we had three objectives or four objectives when he came in here. We wanted to shut their running back down. I see he had a net 61. That's pretty good for a guy who was averaging 181 yards. So I'm really proud of our defensive effort. We did not win the turnover battle, which ended up killing us early in the game. And I told the offense we got to play with a lot more passion, a lot more energy, which we did. And then lastly, we had to win the special teams game, and was probably a stalemate. We didn't create any turnovers on that. We didn't create any turnovers on the day. And when you're playing teams that are a little more experienced than you, you've got to find an edge somehow to create a short field. We didn't. We had we not given up the long interception run back, you put our defense in a really bad position. It's essentially a 3-point game at halftime, but as I told the team afterwards, I was proud of our effort. If we give that kind of effort and we practice the way we did this last week, we have a chance every week. Now we got to execute better. And I told guys who are not playing, hey, listen, practice harder, play better. And we've certainly got to execute better. I just, you can't go 17 for 18 throwing the ball, and especially in the offense we're trying to run to be able to do it. And we've got to be more physical up front.
How deflating was the long interception return there?
Well, I mean, it's disappointing, but those things happen in a game, and you got to be resilient and bounce back. And while I thought, defensively, we defended very bad field position pretty valiantly, but we gave it up at the end when they came across and got our secondary guy caught up in a pick. But I didn't see any letdown or anything like that. I thought our kids continued to play hard, and in other times when they might have just given up, they didn't. They kept fighting and battling, and I was very proud of that.
Because I guess at this stage, if you're 1-3 at this stage, that's one of the things you got to figure as a coach, I guess, is that the attitude starts to sink. And I guess you saw positive signs in the other direction on that.
Well, this team's been through a lot. The same guys in here, we only won 2 games when we're still learning. We won 5 games last year, and while they've had disappointments, they've always been very resilient. And I credit our assistant coaches with that to keep them going. And I credit, frankly, the character of our kids. And if you're recruiting the right kinds of kids, you find kids who continue to work hard and find a way to continue to get better. And I don't think we've played our best football at this point, and clearly we have that as our goal.
Assess the play of those young offensive linemen, particularly Cam Morgan.
Well, early on I thought it was pretty good, and then later on I thought for whatever reason, I thought the protection broke down a little bit. We'll have to see it on film, but I thought Ryan had a little bit of pressure early, which he may have gotten a little bit of happy feet at the end of the second half, which probably was cause of that. But I'll assess that on the film. I was disappointed with our run production today. I mean, our quarterback is going to have yards. He had 90, but some of those were on broken plays. But we just couldn't consistently get a run game going, and we have to do that. We tried to set our run scheme up so that we were creating double teams as much as possible, and we didn't get the vertical movement that we need. And again, that's part of the learning process when you got young guys in there.
What was the key to stopping their run game or slowing it down?
Well, I think we were very gap sound. I thought our defensive coaches came up with a very good scheme, and they're doing a great job of utilizing Donald Payne's abilities. He had 16 tackles again today. That's what he does. But he's making plays all over the field, and we're putting him in schemes that allow him to use his athleticism to run things down without giving him the responsibility of covering someone in certain situations. And so, defensively, with the exception of that one long drive to start the third quarter, that was probably as deflating as anything, because we really felt we had a shot in the game, and had we stopped him right there, we get a chance to get ourselves back to a one-possession game. And that was probably, if there was a deflating moment, that was probably the one where guys go, well, you change your game plan then. I mean, you got to get 3 scores. You can't sit there and try to pound it and conservative and play field position. You got to take more shots down the field to try to create a big play.
Does it show how important Chris Atkins is that they completed a couple of long passes in that drive while he was hanging over a garbage can throwing up?
Well, Chris is obviously a very valuable portion of our defense, and any time that he's not in the game, you know, there's a chance for a drop-off. To this point, you know, Eric Martin's done a great job of filling in, and the other guy that was out was Glenn Adesoji. He played sparingly today. But, you know, Jackie Johnson, you know, part of the blessing and the curse of a guy being hurt is you get younger kids. And Jackie Johnson's going to be a great player. He got beaten on a double move today, which young kids do.
That
But
was when Chris was out. So he got hit with one blow. Was when he was out.
and so, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, because we didn't have Chris, that kid's the reason we did it.
Sure.
But with that said, you know, the next guy has to stand up. You talked about the offensive line. We started 3 freshmen there. You know, hey, nobody's feeling sorry for us. You know, it doesn't like they're not going to sub their freshmen in to go against them. So we got to find ways to play better. And you know, we're trying to find ways to do that. Part of that is just learning. Part of that you learn best by doing. And the nice thing, we have a JV game on Monday. We'll get some more reps with our younger guys, and as they improve and get more comfortable with the scheme, you know, they may have an opportunity to move up.
Aaron Martin in the kicking game. First time he's returned kicks and punts. How did he do?
You know, overall well. He gave me a couple heart attacks with some of the ways he was doing things, but I think he's going to be a very productive kid. I've gotten a lot more confidence in his ability to catch it. I thought he made one mistake where he could have fair caught it and he let it drop, but overall I thought, you know, he played pretty well, and I thought our kickoff return game, you know, for the most part did pretty well.
Defensive line in their role and slowing down their run game. I thought, you know, Tyler McGill, Dayton, obviously a big game. You know, Zane Smith in there some. How did those guys, held up pretty well?
Well, absolutely. When you get a guy that's averaging 181 yards, only gets 60, that pretty much says it all. And we knew that they were going to kind of trying to come in and pound us. And to their credit, we're a little undersized there, but our guys are playing. Davian played well. You know, Tyler McGill's given us everything he has, and it's nice to see Zane Smith come in. He'd been injured in fall camp, and he's just now getting himself to the point where he's healthy. And we'll probably see a bigger rotation as we get into the meat of our schedule here, where teams are more physical and you know, want to run the ball more effectively.
More to build on in this game than the last two?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. You know, and as you said earlier, as a coach, it's a whole mindset. But you know, I told the team, don't hang your head one bit. You played your butts off today, and if you do that every week, you have a shot. Now we got to play right, and we're not playing right, and we're not executing like we need to on offense. But that will come if the effort's there all the time and the energy's there. And certainly, I got to credit the fans at Spec Martin. They were into it, and that helps our guys. And so, anytime we can play at home, it seemed like that extra effort by the fans helps elevate our team to a different level.
How hard is it to be patient?
It's very hard to be patient. You know, that's a great question. It's very hard to be patient because you know, I counted up the number of hours we put into this game, about 90. And these kids are getting up every morning at 5:30 to be there for meetings and practice, and because that's the only time we can practice. And so, you know, it gets hard when you see all this. It's hard, and I think it's harder probably for the players, because as coaches, we know there's a growth process. We understand that. But for them, in this generation, they want everything now. The TV clicker thing, they want to change a channel, and so far they haven't changed a channel yet. They've come out to do it. So it's hard more from the standpoint you want to see success and give them reward for all the hard work that they put in and how they're practicing. But frankly, we're just now starting to understand how hard you have to practice and how you have to practice. And so that's why I don't want to. There's nothing good about a loss, but there's something good about a loss in this case because of how we played and how we prepared for it. And if we continue to do that, we're gonna get better, because we can't help but get better because we're practicing better and we're playing harder.
Were you, as a player, anytime in your youth, were you in a situation like this?
Yeah, I went through. I was a basketball player in high school, and I played a small town, so I played a lot of sports. but we went through a coaching change and had to institute a whole new deal, and you know, we didn't win very many games my junior and senior year, but they went on to, when I left, maybe a good thing I left, they went on to have success afterwards. And so,
I mean, you know what it's like to be in their shoes. I mean, you know,
well,
you can relate to it.
I absolutely can relate to it. Yes, I can absolutely relate to that. And I think, you know, the old adage for coaches is, you know, when you win, you're hard on them. When you lose, you love them up. And these guys have gotten a lot of both from us. We love them and spank them with the same intensity. And so, you know, the hard part is you put that much time in, you put that much work in, and you still don't get it. But as I told them after the game, my exact words were, this game is hard because of how hard you have to play just to have a chance to win. And then when you put it all on the line and you don't, it's easy to get discouraged. And that's why you guys are special, because no other sport demands a physicality and hard work that you do for very little payoff at the very end. And so, but the only way you get the payoff is not to stop doing what you're doing, is just find ways to do it better and find ways to keep the intensity high.
Coach, can you see a point where the team and the program is going to turn that corner?
Oh yeah. Well, if I didn't, it'd be hard to get up in the morning, you know. But you see flashes of brilliance, and you know, if the first thing that you do when you're building a program is you stop them from scoring, because then you don't have to score as much. And without that interception, they scored 17. They've been scoring a hell of a lot of points, and so if we can keep them under 20, we have a chance to win the game. So it's very gratifying to see the defense play the way they did. And they would have done better had we not got a stupid penalty to keep a drive alive. We would have done better if we got out of third down in a couple crucial situations. We had them in third and long, and we gave that up. So those are where we got to improve on defense. But that's the key first. And we have to win the special teams battle. We have to win that every week so that we have short fields and try to create a turnover there. So, you know, those are the things you do as you're building the program, and you got to continue to do it. But again, and offensively, we have to execute better. Have to.
Good. Yep. Good enough. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.